Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people out there. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Leos in late April? And yeah, we're moving on into Taurus season pretty soon, my good friends. I hope you're all ready. So let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the lovely Leos in late April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick, shall we, my good friends? And yeah, as mentioned, we're right on that cusp of Aries and Taurus. It's always a beautiful time of year. Cool. So I like this card. I do, for the most part, because part of it is an energy that's kind of like just blending in, doing its own thing. And there's two main messages I always get, and they're both completely different. So before we fully dive into that, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. Now, I always say this is a gorgeous card to me. There's just something about it where I just love the look of it. You have this lady, she's wearing a wig, she's got that little mask on her face, and it seems to be that she's like trying to blend in with these birds, these storks. I'm not even sure what species they are, but what I do know is that she's trying to blend in with them, right? Now, one thing this could represent is aesthetics, looks, right? Because whenever I see something of beauty, and when someone's like obviously wearing makeup, for some Leos, maybe you're changing something about your look in this time, right? Maybe it's a wardrobe thing, maybe it's how you style your hair, who knows? This is a card that can tie in heavily into appearance and confidence in self, so that could be great. Maybe the confidence you're projecting out into the world is a really good thing. But the other message I always get with this is like someone trying to lay low. So, like, yeah, I do get the beauty and the aesthetics and the confidence, but this is also someone just trying to do their thing, right? They're trying to stay in their own lane, not trying to start problems, not trying to like cause any waves. So for some Leos in this time, maybe that's the mode you're running in right now, right? Maybe it's just like, oh, I'm paying attention, I'm staying in my lane, doing what I got to do. Maybe there's someone you're connected to that is acting in that kind of way where it's like, oh, I don't want to cause any waves. It's just very much laying low and trying to blend in. So we're going to put it down right there. I mean, that doesn't have to be a bad thing, but we're going to let her chill out and blend in with those birds. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled An Explosive Message. There was a lot of fiery energy all over the place. So there could have been various things were a little up and down, hot and cold. But to me, it was centered heavily around communication, which is, I was picking that up for all the fire signs, not just you. So just watch, even moving forward, that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, whether it's a conversation that's like jaw dropping or just something that's completely out of the blue. Maybe it's a conversation that intensifies. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for the lovely Leos. What's happening in late April for my good friends? Thank you. That's a good start. That is a good start. So we start off with the Fool. Right? Not a perfect card, but I love action in the first position, and you can't ask for much better action than with this Fool card. It's like fresh, lighthearted, nice new energy. Let's get a couple more. Big action. Okay. So we got the 5 of Swords. This is a very serious, stern, grumpy type of energy. These energies, either they offset, like they're total opposites. Let's get one more here. Total opposites. Thank you. Death card. Huh. Don't get freaked out about it, okay? I have a lot of strong feelings about this death card, and a lot of times it's just very transformational, if anything. So it's intriguing to me that we're seeing a full cycle appearing here within the reading this week, Leo. So again, whether it's for you or for somebody else, but let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to analyze the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and gives us a lot of hints and clues about the different areas of life. We have a nice mixture. We got fire and air. These are both elements that Leos are very comfortable in. Then we have water here. So they're split, and these could, again, be totally different things that are happening right now, or just different aspects. But when it comes to the fire, your comfort zone, your power element, that is the element of action. So whether it's the actions you take, the actions you want to take, this one does tie heavily into like health, vitality, energy levels. So whether you're feeling a little up or down, fire does rule over that. Fire, if it's not action, it's just passion, drive, motivation. The downside to fire, just like we saw last week, is that it could be a little explosive, a little volatile, where it looks like it's going one way but goes another direction. So we have that up and down already starting. Especially when we add the air next to it. Now, air is a very strategic, logical, pragmatic, information based type of suit. So I like it. It's more about the strategic mind, and I love it. It could be about processing information as well. There could be a lot of clarity coming in when we have a lot of air showing up in a spread. So it's great for communication and understanding. The downside to air is that it's very hot and cold. It's flighty. It's here and there. It doesn't stay in one place for too long. And air can sometimes be cold and detached. And then right here in the back, we have water, the emotional realm, matters of the heart. So it's funny. It's like we have matters of the heart and mind, heart and mind. We have a lot of yin yang type of energy showing up too, like beginning, ending, happy, aggressive. There's like all these energies that seem to be balancing each other off. So maybe you're in a space right now where things are trying to balance each other out. But the only thing with the death card is the intensity, right? Because that's Scorpio energy. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Fool. Now, when that card came out, you saw how happy I was. I love it. Now, out of all the cards in the tarot deck, this is the first of the major arcana, the protagonist. So the Fool is great for beginnings, new beginnings, fresh things, fresh endeavors, usually very high energy. I like it. It's a huge action card, aside from the element tied to it itself. So I like the Fool. Again, it's lighthearted, it's joking, it's having a good time. So I'm not sure if Spirit's trying to say, like, hey, maybe do something you enjoy, Leo. It could be a little simple thing like that. But the downside to the Fool is that sometimes it can be foolhardy, right? Like that's an energy that can act before it thinks. Notice he's always walking off the cliff there, right? And you see his little puppy kind of trying to say, hey, don't go over that cliff there. So just again, watch out for like spontaneous actions or doing things without thinking them through. This card can also represent urges. Okay, so something we definitely want to keep a very close eye on as we move further. But again, it could be lighthearted. So whether it's lighthearted action, something new, and you already see what I mean. We have the beginning and then an ending card. Now in the center, as we move there, the vibe does switch. The vibe does change, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. We have the Five of Swords. Now when we look at this card, we see this person, he has like a little scowl on his face. He doesn't look too happy. Beat the crap out of those people in the background, and it's like, all right, all your swords belong to me now. So in the positive, we'll keep it optimistic. This is a card of determination and forward push. This is a card of self reliance, someone that is focused on what's best for themselves or self interested. And again, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. You do have to look out for yourself, and that's what this card can represent. And I love the fight, I love the determination. However, this card does have a bit of a laundry list of ways it can take a left on us, right? Like this card can be very pushy, aggressive, mean, angry. Um, as speaking of self-interest, this could be self-interest to a maximum. So watch out for any people that are way too self-absorbed when this card shows up. So you see what I mean? We go from like this lighthearted, happy energy into the Five of Swords. It's like, whoa, okay, that shifted quick, that changed quick. Moving to the back end, and we'll follow up with that. We have the death card. Now, I always say when the death card shows up, do not get nervous about it. I know it's been implanted in all of us that anytime we see someone reading tarot cards in a movie or a show, or there's a fortune teller, ooh, the scary death card comes out, but it doesn't have to be, right? Like it's just a card with an image on it. Now, the death card to me, again, it does represent Scorpio energy. Scorpio heavily ties into rebirth, change, metamorphosis, seeing the darker side of life as well. So it's like we have the light side, the beginning, then we have the deeper aspect. So we have like this yin yang of energy going on. But to me, the death card, of course, it could represent the close of the cycle. Of course, it could represent an ending, but that's not where it ends, right? To me, it's like change of one form into another. metamorphosis. Think of a phoenix rising from the ashes. So again, if you're not connected to Scorpio, you don't have Scorpio placements, this card can just represent a shift or a change. It is also a karmic energy as well. So it's something to look into. But I do find it intriguing that we have a whole cycle showing up here in this spread, like from beginning to back. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Leo gang? What's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Fool card, right? Why is the Fool here? Please. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Fool in the mix? Why do we got the Fool? Yeah, this could be a little bit of a warning here. So, like, to me, when I see the Ace of Swords in reverse underneath the Fool, it's somebody either doing something that they either didn't think through, or they're not seeing something clearly, right? Because the Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. Now, these are both fresh cards. They're both new cards. They're both energies that want to get something going. And there's a lot of drive here with the explosive energy. But all aces to me are talks and opportunities. Like that's usually how I simplify it the most. And the Ace of Swords is the sword of truth, clarity, honesty, understanding. So in reverse, underneath the Fool, it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like, you know, when you do something and you think about it after the fact, like, what the hell was I thinking? It's like giving me a vibe like this. Now, again, it doesn't have to be you. This could be somebody else. Well, watch out for situations where there's a little bit of missing information, where it's like you have a big part of the picture, but there's a few pieces of missing information that I'm not quite seeing here. So that's very peculiar. So I don't want to say it's a mistake just yet. I mean, the Fool with Ace of Swords in reverse could definitely be a really explosive action, someone doing something without fully thinking it through. And it could potentially be a misstep. So I think in this time, before you make any big moves, big shifts, it's like, all right, just try to gather a little more information or take your time with something. Because for a lot of Leos, there could be a situation or a process where it would be better to take your time than to rush it. So we're going to keep going. Yeah, like being thorough, being very thorough and pacing yourself. Let's go in on the Five of Swords. Yeah, because to me, it just feels like anything that's rushed could be like a bit of a mistake. Let's see what the Five of Swords has. I don't want to say this is someone like lying or anything like that. It doesn't quite feel like that. It could even be something very, very innocent in a way, where it's like, oh, I didn't even think of it that way. I'm so sorry. It's like a misunderstanding too. Okay. Yeah, this is odd. All right, so we have the Five of Wands in reverse underneath this Five of Swords. These energies are facing off here. This energy does feel a little grumpy. So for some Leos, maybe there might, on the low end, and I always say when we have problematic energy, I like to look at it on a spectrum. So maybe there's just a day you get up on the wrong side of the bed, or a person you're connected to does, where it's like, ooh, all right, you're acting a little sassy or you're acting a little different. There's like an aggression here. So there could be an aggression coming from someone that you normally don't experience it from, because this does feel like anger or someone being mad. That's just how it feels. Could it be because of this? Potentially, where it's like, I upset someone without even trying to do it. Not saying you did it. There could even be someone that, upsets you and they weren't even trying to do it. That's how this all combines up in the front. Now, the Five of Wands is very similar to the Five of Swords. And you see this card, it's the five people. They're going to battle, they're whooping each other's butts. So, again, determination, push, forward momentum, yes, it could be all that. But it is also a conflict based, aggressive type of energy. So, I have this Five of Wands in reverse underneath it. Now, if this isn't somebody feeling a little grumpy or angry, this could be someone that, when someone forgives but they don't forget, that's how this feels, where it's like, okay, I forgive, but I will never forget it. I don't know why that's coming through. So we're going to keep moving. Maybe there's something spirit just wants you to keep in mind, where it's like, all right, well, maybe file that away in your brain, like take a mental note about something. Let's see what's up with the Death card. Very specific stuff. very specific. So again, only take what hits for you. But why is death here? Thank you. Okay. So we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Both cards are the energy of something culminating. Now, I don't think this has to be a bad thing. This does represent an end of some kind, but not every ending is a bad thing. Or remember, every ending starts a cycle anew and starts the cycle over again. Now, all tens in tarot represent the close of a chapter. When we connect that with the Death card, there is no other straightforward message, especially with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse and something closing out. Now, for some of you, that could be good, right? Maybe there is a difficult chapter that you've been going through, and it's like, you know what? It's time to turn the page on this and start fresh, right? With the Fool card. I still don't think this is something to be rushed or anything like that. Change can be difficult. Metamorphosis can be difficult. It could be a process. It's not always easy. Now let's talk about it a little further. The Ten of Pentacles, we see it, happy family. It's usually a card of stability, predictability, um, level up type of energy. I love the Ten of Pentacles. It could deal heavily with work related issues or money related issues. When I see it in reverse, it is an upheaval of some kind. So could there be something ending or closing out? For sure. But that's just part of how things move in this material reality, right? Doesn't mean this ending has to be a bad thing. Again, like I feel for some of you, if you've been going through a difficult chapter, this actually could be a good one where it's like, all right, well, let's close the page on this and open up a new one. You might be ready for that. So I think I think it's okay. I'm getting a frog in my throat now too, so watch anything involving the throat or communication. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So peculiar reading, I mean, not terrible, but there's some things to keep an eye on. If you kindly look in the box position, number one, we got the Fool card with the Ace of Swords in reverse. Yeah, watch out for stepping on someone's toes without realizing it, where it's like, oh, I wasn't trying to upset you, but I accidentally did. Or someone could do that towards you, like, because this to me feels like someone either does something with missing context or information, or they do something without fully thinking about it. So we do get like this action happening. Moving to the center, we have the Five of Swords with the Five of Wands in reverse. This does feel like a little bit of an aggression, anger, borderline bitterness, where like there could be someone's like, all right, well, I will forgive, but I will keep a mental note of that. I will forgive, but I will not forget. I don't know why that came through. But this energy is like a big pressure cooker in the center. So watch out for anything like that. And yeah, there's like this accidental upsetting of somebody. Moving on the back end, we have the Death card with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. There could be a chapter closing out for some of you. That could be a good thing, especially if recent times have been a little rough or difficult on you. But to me, it's like it naturally comes to its conclusion, or it's moving into its next phase. So I don't think it's anything to freak out about, but please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get it going here. What's in the shadows for the lovely Leos? Lovely Leos, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really shocked about this. So the card we have in the shadows is a card that was very prominent in the reading this week, the Five of Swords. And I know the art around it is much different, but the energy still remains. Now, again, the good aspect of this card is its determination, where it's like, if I really, really want something, I will have it. I will see it through. I will keep pushing. I will not give up. We love the Five of Swords for that. And it could also represent doing things for oneself. But at the same time, this card, watch out for any individuals that are very, very too much self-interested, right? Where they may even lack empathy because they have so much self-interest. Or the aggression. The aggression. Now, again, I don't know what every single Leo's going through right now. Sometimes situations call for a little aggressiveness. But there's something here about like letting something have its space for a minute. Where it's like, don't push it too far. Don't push it too hard when I see the Five of Swords. So we're just going to put it down right there, my beautiful friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.